Okay, right now I'm going to show you how to make a very, very quick and easy scarf. Again, I'm going to make it all on the overlocker, and then later on I'll show you how to make it on the sewing machine. So the scarf ends up like this, and you can use, what have I got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different layers, and they're all cut 15 centimetres wide. So this is 15 centimetres here, and this is a rayon fabric. I'm going to do that one in rolled edge, and this is a muslin fabric, and I've done this with flat locking, which is what I've just shown you. But the difference with this one is I've used a very thick thread. So this thread is called pearl number 5, and it's an embroidery thread. I could use that thread, or I could use this thread, which is like Decora, which is a thick thread to use on the overlockers, but this one's called Susie. So any thick thread that you would never think you would normally use on an overlocker, you can use. It's wonderful. It gives a lovely, lovely finish. So what I've done with this one, I've done the 3-thread flat locking, and I can wear it this way, or put my glasses on because I can't even see it. Or if it flips over, it won't matter because you get this lovely stitching on this side. So whatever you like, and it's lovely soft. So this muslin was pre-washed, thrown in the dryer to make it lovely and soft. So it's really nice, and it's all natural, so that's good. Okay, now to change threads on an overlocker. Open up your cover. You can see your 2 loopers here. I'm going to cut my blue looper, my red looper, and my left needle because those are the ones I'm using. I'm going to take my threads off, and I'm going to put this on my blue looper. Okay. I'm going to tie my 2 threads together like so. Like that. So just go around your thumb and then pop it through the hole like that. I'll show you again with the next one. Give it a really good little tug and cut it about 1 centimetre away. For the other 2, this is just normal sewing thread. I'm going to put my 2 threads together like that. Go around my thumb and pop it through the hole and give it a good tug. Okay, I don't really need to cut that one because it's not thick. The last one I'm going to show you again, so you're going to have it really sorted by the time you do it. Put your 2 threads together, go around your thumb and back through the hole. And those knots won't come undone. Well, that's the idea. Now you must lift your foot up. So I want to put the needle up. I want to put the foot up so that my tensions are open. Then I pull my thread from here, I cut my threads, and you'll notice I've got 5 threads, right? Because, see this one? This is my spare needle thread that's gone down to form a stitch. So I'm going to take that one out. Then I'm going to pull it and see which one's my blue looper. It's my needle. Give my needle one a tug. You need to pull it from the needle because you cannot thread your needle pulling it through the hole. So there's my needle one. Now I'm going to give the blue looper a tug. Now can you see it's hard for me to pull? So what I do is I just bring it through that. There we go. Pull it through the hard bit. And if my knot's small enough, it will go through. Oh, it did. And then I pull my red one. And that's how easy it is to change it on an overlocker. Now I'm just going to try and show you how to do this needle threader. Oh, there's my spare thread. Let's get rid of that one. Okay. This is actually a needle threader. Put my foot down. If I go like this, you might be able to see there's a little wire and it's got a U shape on it. Okay? Shaped like a U. So what you do is you put your thread side on like that. You hold your thread, you turn it so that that little hook there is against your needle. you feel your wire and you just slide it down till you feel the opening of your hole of your needle and you push it through. Shall I try that again? I love it when it doesn't work. I need to lift that foot up and get a bit of thread. So there, and I'm going against my needle. I can feel the needle, the thread against the needle, and I slide down and poke it through. Yep, keep the tension on your thread. Okay, I'm keeping the tension on my thread. Down, down, and push. Here we go. Now the hook, this bit, is used to pull that loop. I must admit I never use this. I use these because look, so much easier. I find that loop a bit yucky. Shall I show you again? So there, keep your tension on both sides, push it down, slide it and push it. And then I use these. Cool, eh? So if you find you are having trouble threading your needle, this is a good tool. Put it back in there, lift it up, and I just pop it under there, okay? Or around the back. Close the door, make sure everything's threaded right. Now, I'm going to change this again. So this one goes down low. I think this one goes up high, and that one goes to there, I'm not sure. We'll just double check it. 3 thread, left needle, flat lock, 1.5, 3.5 and 7. Yep, my brain's working. Okay, now how this works for the scarf. So what you get is you get all your rows of your fabric cut 1.5 centimetre, 15 centimetres wide. And the first colour, say this is my first colour, the second colour, you're going to put wrong sides together and you're going to start it 20 centimetres from the top. So that's 8 inches. So I've got my tape measure on. I'm going to measure 20 centimetres down from the top of my first fabric and put a pin so I can see it. There you go. And I'm going to lay my next fabric 20 centimetres down, 8 inches, and then I'll just put a clip in there so you can see that. So I've got wrong sides together, okay? All of this will be cut off later on an angle to form the edge of it. So I'll just get some scrap here and I want to try the stitch first on my muslin because I may need to change my tensions to make it look perfect. So remember I've got matching thread and I am just going to put my holder on and I'm going to stitch down here and check I'm happy with it. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for this thread to be going all the way to the right hand side. Perfect. And I want this thread here to be zigzagging on the back so that when I open that out it's going to be fine. That's good. Right. So I don't need to start up there. I can start down here. And I'm doing these colours so you can really see it. So I'm just going to sew a little bit down here so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to do a flat lock. You can trim or not trim, makes no difference. Isn't that clever? So good. A great way to make a quick, easy scarf. And then remember all you do, see isn't it lovely with the thick thread? All you do, you've got your lovely zigzag, is you just flatten it. Do you know the best part of this stitch? Watch this. It stretches and it will not pop it. It's really, really, really good. Now there's another stitch you can do, which I've done on the edge here. See this? This is like a rolled hem, but it's called a wrapped seam and you use the thick thread. See, it rolls it over to the back. I might have to redo this one actually. I must have needed to put a new needle in. See, it skipped a couple of stitches. So I think I'll redo that one, which is easy enough. I'll just cut it off and redo it. So the wrapped seam is two thread wrapped seam with my left needle. So I put my needle on 5 there, and I put my lower looper, oh that's 2 thread wrapped, yeah, you can only do it with 2 thread. I put this on 3, but what I need to do is I need to take my thread off this one and put it on this one, okay? So I'm now going to swap this thread over, and we are going to use this wonderful little tool in here called a 2 thread converter. So you've got a little eye here which is for your top looper. I'm going to close that over with this funny little tool. So I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to take out that blue thread and make that one disappear. There we are. So this little eye here, this goes on like a cap. So it goes in there and it pushes through that little hole. Now some of you will have a little 2 thread converter in a box and you clip it on and you push the wire through the hole. Same deal, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that thread, or this one, get rid of that. Now I'm going to tie this on and I'm going to put my thick thread on my end one and make it into a 2 thread wrapped seam, and that is how I finished off my scarf. But I do notice I should have possibly changed my needle, so I'll redo that one. So pearl number 8 pearl thread, you possibly even have some at home because it is for hand embroidery. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my thread. Actually no, I'm going to thread this one from scratch to show you how you do it because it's really good on this overlocker. This is amazing. I'll thread this one so you can see it. So to thread this blue looper, this red looper, which everyone thinks is hard, it's not. Lift your foot up, click your thread in there, come down, go red, and down here you've got 2 red little dots, red and red. Then I'm going to move this sideways. You've got an arrow here. I'm going to flick that down and another red little symbol appears. So I just go click and click behind there and I flick this little lever back. Do that without you seeing. Can you see that? Flick that back. It just needs to go through this eye. Make sure your needle thread is on top and cut this off on an angle and then thread that through the eye. And that's your lower looper, and now you're on 2 thread wrap seam. Okay, make sure it's feeding and away you go. Put that under there. So it's a very cool stitch. You can also do 2 thread flat locking and it will be flatter than 3 thread flat locking. Now this wrap seam is actually done on the raw edge, so you can do it round a binded jacket or something like that. Is very, very good. So watch what I do. So the whole of the edge of my garment, I'm going to roll that up a little bit. What I've done is I've just rolled my cutting width up so it's a little bit wider, so my overlocking fills in all of my fabric. And I'll trim some off just to show you, or you can do it right on the edge without trimming. Now, if I bring my stitch length closer, you'll see what happens. Oh, too close. Won't want to move. Too close. Interesting. That's much better. So you get it how you like the look of it, and then you can do that around a whole garment. I'll show you where I had it more open. So there I had that open, and there I closed it up, but it was way too close and it wouldn't move. So I would do that, and can you see how it stretches? So it's a very, very good stitch. So what it's doing is it's wrapping that thread over the edge so it looks like a nice finished seam. It's pretty cool. Now I'll just show you on Lycra. So this is flat locking on Lycra, and look how it stretches, it never pops. It's very, very good. And this is a super stretch stitch I've done, and I've used the woolly nylon thread, which is that fluffy thread, and that's how it stretches on that. So flat locking is a very good stitch because it also stretches. Okay? Right, now we're going to go right out of flat locking, and I'm going to show you one more amazing stitch. I'm going to thread it from scratch, and I'm going to do 3 thread rolled hem. Take my converter off, put my converter away, pull my threads all out, and now I'm going to show you. I'm going to use a really fine thread, so I'm going completely opposite than what we've done, and I'm going to use a fine thread. This is Poly Neon Madeira, and I'm going to pop that on my blue looper, and I'll show you how to thread your overlocker from scratch. So you just clip your thread in there, come down, use your tweezers, go blue, 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 and blue. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And when you move this, you can see clearly that's your blue looper because it's all connected. And then thread your thread, cut it on an angle, and thread from front to back. No doubt you can see better now because the lights are on. So that's a good thing. So don't hook it in anywhere else. There we go. Oops. Try that again. I just hooked it in everywhere else because I wasn't looking. I was being cheeky because the lights got turned on. So thread it through the eye. Cut it on an angle again because it went all fluffy. Thread it through the eye of your looper. It just is so silky, it wants to fall. Make sure it doesn't tangle up with anything, and you can see clearly where it is, and then put it under your foot. So that is the blue looper. Now I'm going to do the red looper, and I might actually just put this one on. So it's another silky thread. I don't really need another silky one. I can put ordinary thread on. Go straight down, there, there, there. And remember, this is the red one. So what am I going to do? I'm going to turn this so you can see. I'm going to bring that up so I can see my red looper. I'm going to flick that lever down so I can see my 2 red dots. I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to thread it through the eye. Okay? Very, very easy. There's nothing hard about these overlockers. Oops. Thread it through the eye first, and then maybe hook it around that hook because this is a very slippery thread. Right, I'm just going to grab it with my finger and then hook it around that hook. When there's some tension on it, you see. Now I'm going to flick that back, and then I just go underneath the foot. Okay, so there's my 2 lower ones done. Close the door. Now this time I'm going to roll this down, and you can see the blade, see how the blades move in and out. I'm going to roll it so the blades are flat. I'm going to shut the door. I'm going to put my stitch length right down to R for rolled hemming. I'm going to push this little pin here towards me, so that's on rolled hemming, and I'm going to thread my right needle and put my right needle back in. So sometimes what I do, if I've got a needle in and I'm just going to go to rolled edging, I put my foot down, I take my left needle out, undo my right screw, wiggle my needle out and put it up there. But I'm not going to do that because I've got a 90 needle in here and I want a 70 needle. A 90 needle is good for my scarf and heavy work, but I'm doing rayon, so I want a nice fine 70 needle. And I will tell you, your needle threader doesn't work on a 70 needle, so you need to do it by hand. By eye, sorry. So a nice fine 70, flat to the back, hold it, pop it up, and you can see through here if it's gone all the way up. It's brilliant. Tighten your right needle. tighten your left screw so it doesn't work its way out. Pop that away, pop that away. I'm not always that tidy. Close that up, and now I'm going to lift my foot up to thread my needle so that my tensions are open. So from here to here. Now this time all I do is go there. Sorry, right needle. Nearly did it wrong. All I'm doing is going on here. So you can only do right needle only with rolled hemming. There, down, across, up to the right one, the green, and then there and there. So cut it on an angle, grab your tweezers and thread it front to back because it's a really tiny needle. And then grab your tweezers, and you'll notice I've got these beautiful Bernina tweezers, they come with it. And my foot's up and I'll just pop that under there. Okay, so I've got my cutting widths flat, my knives flat. I've got my rolled edge lever towards me. Now my tensions. So on here I'm doing 3 thread rolled hem. So 3 thread rolled hem is number 8. So 3.5 on this one. We're not using this one here. And 4 and 7.5. R at the top here. My lever is forward and my differential feeds on normal. So this time, and I didn't do this at Bernina Club, but I'm showing you on the videos for those that want to do a fine work. I decided on rayon, a beautiful rayon fabric. Now I've just noticed this flower. Oh no, it goes up both ways, so we're good. So I'm going to get 2 colours, and these ones are going to be alternating this colour with this colour. So I put the wrong sides together, and instead of flat locking, I'm going to roll hem them. And I've just ripped them so you can see they're quite rough, but the rolled hem will fix it. So remember, use your tape measure and measure about 20 centimetres, which is 8 inches from the top. Do you know what? This one I'm going to do 15 because it will have less of an angle. So I'm going to go 15 for the scarf. There's no rules. Who said there's any rules? And I'm just going to put my wrong sides together. I'm not going to pin them. You just don't need to. It's just a scarf. You can just keep the raw edges together like that. And I'm going to roll edge. Oh, I probably should have practiced first, but nah, it's all good. This machine will do it perfectly. So I'm just going to roll edge. Keep my raw edges together. And look at all the rubbish going in the bin. Beautiful, beautiful finish. Isn't that brilliant? And that is how you roll edge on an overlocker. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom so you can see, and then I will do all my other rows, and when we go on to our sewing machine you'll see it all finished. So the whole lot's going to be made on rolled hemming. I'm not using the sewing machine or any of it. And I'm nearly at the end, and then when you come back for the second half of the lesson, I will show you it finished. I may even wear it. Maybe not with this dress. But rolled edging is beautiful. Let me stop and just show you what it looks like. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So what it does is it wraps this one all the way over, and it does a perfect finish. Do you know the beauty of this? It's a seam. It's absolutely amazing. So that I could actually sew a garment together and it would be strong enough. So I'm just going to sew down to the bottom, and then when you come back you will see it all finished as a scarf. So when you get to the bottom just keep going, and this is what forms your angle of your scarf, which I'll show you in a second. Too easy, isn't it? Too quick. So just to let you know, these overlockers are $1,299. Very, very good value. And it's called the Bernina L450. The model up is L460. With the knee control, the sew table, and the Bernina foot control. So once you've sewn all your 5 rows together, what you then do is you lay them out on a table and you cut from this point down to the lower point. I'll just show you. I would cut this all the way up to this point. I would do it on a cutting board and a mat, not up in the air. And the next one will start 15 centimetres, so that will cut down there, and then I will roll edge all the way down both ends and I'll have a beautiful finished scarf. Oh look, this one I haven't cut to 15 centimetres, I've just got it ready to. So that's how I do it. I just rip it, and now it's 15 centimetres wide. Okay, so there's a very, very quick, easy way. So let me just show you how I would start the next one, just so you're clear. I just get my next colour and I alternate them. And remember, I'm only doing 15 centimetres down. There's no rules. You can do whatever you like. 15 centimetres, it's about there. And that's all I'm doing is about. I'm not being really strict. And start roll hemming it. Make sure you've got your raw edges together. Make sure you got plenty of thread before you start, because it will use a bit of thread. And away you go. And this is why you need a bin, because look at the mess it makes. So you'll see that all finished. And I will then show you how you can make a scarf and how you can use the thick thread on your sewing machine and how you can make your weights on a sewing machine. So I will see you again soon.